If you've ever failed a diet, if you've ever lost weight, only to gain it all back, it wasn't because you were weak. It wasn't because you lacked discipline. It wasn't because you didn't want it badly enough. It failed because you were fighting your own brain, and your brain is very good at winning. This is the willpower myth. The idea that long-term weight loss is simply about trying harder. That if you could just resist temptation, ignore hunger, and stay consistent forever, your body would fall in line. But modern science, and many of the world's top obesity researchers, now agree, diets don't fail because of people fail because of diets. And today, I'm going to show you why. Your brain is not designed for endless restriction. In fact, it's designed to do the exact opposite. From an evolutionary standpoint, your brain's primary job is survival, not aesthetics, not abs, not the number on a scale. For over 99% of human history, food scarcity was the threat. Starvation, not obesity, was the enemy, so your brain evolved powerful defense systems to protect body fat. When you start dieting, especially aggressively, your brain doesn't see a health goal. It sees a famine, and it responds accordingly. Hunger hormones like ghrelin rise, satiety hormones like leptin fall, your metabolism subtly slows, your thoughts increasingly orbit food. You're not losing motivation. Your brain is activating emergency protocols. As endocrinologist Robert Lustig explains, when calories drop too low for too long, the brain triggers biological pushback designed to restore lost weight, often with interest. This is why rebound weight gain is not random, it's predictable. Studies consistently show that the more restrictive the diet, the stronger the rebound. Not because people cheat, but because the brain eventually overrides conscious control. Willpower doesn't fade, biology escalates. You've heard it 1,000 times, weight loss is just calories in, calories out. But if that were the full truth, then, all calories would affect hunger the same, all people would respond similarly, and long-term weight regain wouldn't be the norm, yet reality says otherwise. Here's what the calorie model ignores: your brain doesn't count calories, it responds to signals. Hormonal signals, neural signals, reward signals. 2 meals with identical calories can produce wildly different effects on hunger, cravings, and fat storage. Why? Because food is not just energy, it's information. Neuroscientist and obesity researcher Stefan Guyanet has shown that ultraprocessed foods overstimulate the brain's reward circuitry, specifically dopamine pathways, driving appetite far beyond true energy needs. This is why you can feel full and still crave more. It's not hunger, it's neural stimulation. Meanwhile, insulin, cortisol, leptin, and gut-brain signals quietly decide whether calories are burned or stored. So when a diet tells you to just eat less, without addressing these systems, it's like trying to fly a plane by pulling random levers. Eventually, something breaks, and it's usually you. Willpower is a limited resource. Neuroscience has proven this again and again. Every decision, what to eat, what to avoid, when to stop, draws from the same mental fuel tank used for work stress, family responsibilities, emotional regulation, and daily life. By the end of the day, that tank is empty, and when willpower runs out, the brain defaults to efficiency and reward. This is why cravings hit hardest at night, why stress eating feels automatic, why cheat days turn into cheat weeks. You're not self-sabotaging, your brain is choosing the fastest path to comfort and survival. As physician and brain health expert Daniel Amen puts it, behavior change fails when we ignore the brain systems driving behavior in the first place. You cannot out-discipline a nervous system stuck in threat mode. So if willpower isn't the answer, what is? This is where the real solution begins. Lasting fat loss doesn't come from fighting your brain, it comes from working with it. This is what we mean by neuro-hacking, not in a sci-fi way, but in a biological one. Instead of asking, how do I eat less? You ask, how do I make my brain want less? Here's what actually works. 1. Designing satiety, not restriction. Protein, fiber, and minimally processed foods send powerful fullness signals to the brain. They reduce ghrelin, stabilize insulin, and increase leptin sensitivity. You don't feel deprived. You feel done. 2. Reducing dopamine hijacking. Ultra-processed foods train the brain to seek more stimulation, not nourishment. Gradually removing them resets reward pathways, making normal food satisfying again. This isn't quitting cold turkey, It's retraining neural expectations. 3. Stabilizing blood sugar equals stabilizing behavior. Blood sugar crashes mimic emotional distress in the brain. When glucose swings wildly, self-control collapses. Stable meals create stable moods. Stable moods create consistent habits. 4. Environmental control beats self-control. Your brain responds more to what's around you than what you intend. People who succeed don't rely on willpower. They reduce friction. They make the healthy choice the default, not the battle. 5. Why this approach finally lasts. When you work with your brain, hunger becomes quieter, cravings lose urgency, food stops dominating your thoughts, weight loss becomes a side effect, not the obsession. This is why some people seem to just do it effortlessly. It's not genetics alone, it's not discipline, it's alignment. They're not fighting biology, they're leveraging it. And once the brain feels safe, once it no longer perceives restriction as threat, it stops pushing back. No rebound, no endless restarts, no cycle of guilt. Here's the most important thing I want you to remember. If your plan requires constant willpower, it will eventually fail. Not because you're broken, but because your brain is doing its job. Real change happens when weight loss stops being a war and becomes a conversation with your biology. You don't need more motivation. You don't need harsher rules. You need a system that works with your brain, not against it. And once you understand that, everything changes.